The American dream. For generations, it's been a powerful promise that if you work hard, play by the rules, and stay determined, you can build a better life, a home, a family, financial security, maybe even a white picket fence. But today, many Americans are starting to feel like that dream has slipped just out of reach, or worse, like it was never meant for them at all.
Living in America in 2025 feels like you're trying to breathe while someone's hand is over your mouth, and they're charging you rent for it. As soon as you get paid, it's gone. You buy groceries, and the bags are lighter. You fill your tank and the needle mocks you. Food's up, rent's up, insurance, utilities, coffee. Even your damn toothpaste is up. Everything's up, except the paycheck. Oh, and everything's also smaller. Shrinkflation? Yeah, that's the way they rob you while smiling in your face. You're not imagining it. The box is smaller. The portions are skimpier. The price is higher, and you're supposed to eat it with a smile. This isn't bad budgeting. This isn't laziness. This is a rigged game where everyone at the top profits and everyone at the bottom is a slave. We're getting taxed, drained, and blamed every step of the way. If you feel it too, you're not crazy. You're just living in America in 2025. And it's fucking brutal.
Across the country, Americans are confronting a harsh reality. The cost of living is skyrocketing. Groceries that used to cost $50 now run up to $80. Rent for a modest one-bedroom apartment has doubled in some cities. Gas prices swing wildly, keeping drivers on edge. Childcare, health insurance, student loans. The bills stack up and the paycheck barely stretches. Even those who thought they were middle class are finding themselves living paycheck to paycheck. For many, it feels like the rules changed, but no one told them.
The cost of living in this country is currently, it's not going to be, it is currently unsustainable.
Millennials and Gen Z are delaying marriage, avoiding children, or moving back in with parents. Not because they're lazy, but because the math just doesn't add up. Meanwhile, older Americans who spent decades building careers are watching their retirement savings vanish under the weight of inflation and medical bills. People are angry, they're tired, and they're asking, what happened to the dream we were sold? Some blame corporations. CEO pay is soaring while wages stagnate. Others point fingers at politicians, accusing them of being out of touch with working people. There's frustration with a system that seems rigged, where owning a home feels impossible and health care feels like a luxury.
Living in America is exhausting. You wake up tired. You go to work tired. You come home, barely surviving, go to sleep, wake up, go to work, come home, and you're still fucking broke. Every single month, rent's due. Rent is through the roof. Groceries are double what they used to be just 2 years ago. You go to the gas pump to fill up your car and it's like you paid another car note. Everything, and I mean everything, is up in price. But your paycheck, still the same. And once inflation gets done with it, it's probably even a little less. Yet somehow, they keep telling us, just budget a little bit more. Just work a little bit harder. Like, I'm sorry, how many jobs do I need now? 4? 5? 7? That's not living. That's barely surviving.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living on the average American salary? I just watched a TikTok of a teacher who makes a teacher's salary. I don't know what state she's in, so I don't know how much she makes, but her one-bedroom apartment is $2,000. And when she spends $2,000 on that one-bedroom apartment, it doesn't even come with a washer and dryer. So she has to go pay an additional $2 every time she wants to use their washer and dryer. Okay, how does that leave her any extra money to spend? And then she said she had a $400 car payment, which some people were bashing her on that. But in today's economy with interest rates, that's really not that bad. And I'm sure she needs a dependable car. So you talk about teacher's salary, $2,000 in rent, $400 car payment. You got insurance, you got groceries, electricity. I don't understand how people are affording life right now, and it really makes me sad for some people. You have people who are like her. She's single, she has her own salary, or families where it just works out best for them for the mother to stay home. And if the father is just making an average American salary, how are they affording life without going in a bunch of debt? This lady who's a teacher started crying because she said she realizes on her salary and where she lives, she will actually end up in more debt. Then, like, she will just continue to accrue more debt and more debt and more debt because her salary is not matching the cost of living. And what's sad is I've seen people be like, just spend less. Listen, guys, the cost of living is rising and our salaries are stagnant, okay? So there's not just spend less. That's not the problem here. The problem is the cost of living is outrageous, and minimum wage in some states is still $7.25. Teachers in some states are still paid a ridiculously low salary, even though their job is super important. I don't know what we can do about this, but I'm just going on a rant because it really, really pisses me off.
Americans are leaving the USA because they can't afford America anymore, making $100,000 a year, yet they feel suffocated financially because the price of things keep going up. They keep printing money and the wages ain't going up, all right? Matter of fact, there's job loss and there's cuts and all kinds of stuff going on. So once people leave that kind of environment and they go somewhere else and they realize life is supposed to be lived, it's supposed to be simple, it's supposed to be much more about enjoying your health and your family and your loved ones and your purpose and all of these things, rather than spending most of your life at work. What kind of a freaking life is it if you don't do what you love? If you do what you love, cool, man, knock yourself out. I do what I love. Most people, 80-something%, don't do what they love. They don't like their job, and if they didn't have to work their job, they wouldn't work their job. So I know if you watch this far, it's speaking to you. Maybe this is the sign you need to start doing some research to learn how to begin to devise your escape plan and live a better life. Because you know what? If what you're doing is not working, continuing to do the same thing, they call that insanity. You might want to book that flight. See you soon.
But despite all of this, the spirit of the American people hasn't disappeared. Across states, communities are finding new ways to survive and support each other. People are forming co-ops, growing their own food, trading services, and speaking up louder than ever. They're organizing, voting, protesting, refusing to be silent about what's broken. There's a deep yearning to rebuild the American dream, not just as a fantasy, but as a future that includes everyone. One where your zip code doesn't define your opportunity, where hard work actually does pay off, where you can raise a family, buy a home, and still afford to breathe. But here's the truth. If we want that future, it won't come from waiting. It'll come from demanding better, from our leaders, from our systems, and from each other. How are you feeling about the rising cost of living? Has your idea of the American dream changed? Do you believe it's still possible, or has it become a myth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your story. Because the American dream might be under pressure, but together, maybe we can still redefine it, not just for ourselves, but for the next generation too.